Hello friends, welcome to Friend of Health. So we are completing the 7th year's AIApget question paper Organon questions, that is AIApget 2023. 16 questions were asked from Organon, one from Ken's philosophy, that is the 35th chapter, which we always emphasize on, that is the prognosis chapter, the 12th observations chapter, one question, and 15 questions from the aphorisms itself, Organon text itself. So if you see the previous 6 years, 2017 to 2022, we had around like 75 plus questions, 10 plus 14 plus 10 plus 16 plus 14 plus 12 questions, and this year adds 16 questions to this group, and it is 92. So the previous 6 years question papers, 2017 to 2022, we have already done in our app, Friend of Health app, and in the YouTube channel also you can see. The link for accessing this video for free is available in the description of this video. So we are straight away going to the questions, 16 questions of this year, 2023 AIApget Organon. And first question is, most appropriate regimen during treatment of chronic disease is or are? So this is a typical UPSC pattern question. If you see, that is, there will be 4 or 5 options. Then choose the correct answer from the options given below. So here there will be the options, that is multiple options. Like it's not a straight away we are answering it here. We are going to a step 2, that is level 2. That is a typical UPSC pattern. So a UPSC exam is called for, and many of you might have applied GDMO post, General Duty Medical Officer Homeopathy. Even though the vacancies are very less, it is a very important exam. And also we are expecting a UPSC exam soon, and also UPPSC exam date are yet to be announced. So for all those question papers, for all those expected exams, this type of questions can come, and we'll see the motto which we always tell, which I always tell in my classes of Organon, in IHMA School of Homeopathy classes, or also in our app Organon Perfect Revision course also. It is 100%, Organon 100%. So Organon 100% is our motto, and always we could stick on to these, and people used to give us feedback that 16 out of 16, 14 out of 14 we could answer Organon because of our classes. So you can go through the questions and see how the 100% questions were covered in our classes, in which area, which point of the classes. I'll show you. So here the answer is intellectual recreation, okay. Then active exercise in open air in almost all kind of weather, yes. Nutritious unmedicinal food and drink, yes. Removal of obstacle to cure, this we may have a confusion, because luckily there is no option called A, B, C only. Some of the students had a confusion whether D is there, but they have answered first option itself, A, B, C, D. If you see the marking by Homoeopathic team, thanks Homoeopathic team for giving the answer key marked question paper. So option 1, that is A, B, C, D. So if at all there was an option A, B, C only, there is a chance that people might go for that, because they will think whether this option is correct or not, removal of obstacle to cure. So we will see where it is mentioned in the Organon. Before that, let me show you the live classes session. So this is the way it looks in the web based, in the website based app, our app, which looks in the website. There will be an overview of the course. There will be a content folder where you get all the live classes, short test, then the mind maps, everything, and live classes which we have already taken through the app platform, that will be shown, the live classes recordings. So these are a little more edited, and content live class folder is a little more edited and perfected videos which we had done in other platforms or in the live platform of the Class Plus app itself, but still we have edited, trimmed the unwanted areas. That is this folder, but this live classes area is the direct live platform area, and attendance and all we are not using, because we have a 1 year long classes in Organon. If you see, just for ₹800 you can access the class, and you can get these classes, all the recordings anytime, and the short test will be added, more will be added. And this year we are going to cover all the along with the aphorisms, Organon textbook, we are going to cover extensively all the philosophies and chronic diseases also. So that is what I wanted to convey. This is the way it looks in the app. And yeah, this is aphorism. The first question comes from here, 261, aphorism number 261. Most appropriate regimen in chronic disease. So we know diet and regimen in chronic disease and acute disease is mentioned from where to where, we all know. So 259 onwards it starts. So 261, most appropriate regimen in chronic disease, the removal of such obstacles to recovery, our fourth option. And in supplying where necessary the reverse. What is the reverse? A, B, C, the three options plus the fourth option is here. Innocent moral intellectual recreation, active exercise in the open air, and suitable nutritious and medicinal food and drinks. So that is the way simply we will answer these questions. And second question, mental disease, alternate disease, indisposition, intermittent fever. So ground plan of Organon. Once you go through our classes of Organon, first to 294 of 5th edition and first to 291 of 6th edition aphorisms we are covering, like by comparing the aphorisms, the contents of the aphorisms, the similarity in the content, the meanings, the similarity in the concept, everything we are comparing and studying. So the ground plan will be thorough for our students, and these are a very cakewalk actually, easy options actually, easy questions. Mental disease starts from 210, alternating disease it is in the 232, and intermittent fever 235, and indisposition 150. Option number 1, A2 and B1 alternate disease, and indisposition C4 and D3, that is option A. This is very easy actually. And third one, according to J.T. Kent, too short relief of symptom in acute disease is because of. So this is a question, only one question which came from the philosophy part, that is from J.T. Kent philosophy, the chapter number 35, prognosis after giving the remedy. That is the 12 observations, very important for UPSC exams or for any exam, for PSC Kerala State or any exam. If you see, there will be one question from this J.T. Kent philosophy and 35th chapter, 12 observations. So option A, structural change and organs are destroyed. So we are speaking about the focus point of this question is acute disease. So acute disease, this is a like not very suitable option, and very high grade inflammatory reaction and the organ affected thereby threatened. That is one possibility. There is latent organic condition present. That is not possible. Weak vital energy. We have a confusion here. So A, B, C, D. So if you see the marked answer, option 2, very high grade inflammatory reaction and the organ affected thereby threatened. We used to make a funny comment in Organon exams that if you put a line here and whichever crosses that means the last, the lengthier one will be the answer. Here that is happening. It's not a general rule actually, but that usually used to happen. So if you see the Kent's chapter 6th observation, too short relief of symptom, and what happens in acute cases, it is, if it is too short an amelioration in acute cases, it is because such high grade inflammatory action is present that organs are threatened by rapid progresses going on. If you see the option 2, very high grade inflammatory action, the organ affected thereby threatened. And if it is too short an amelioration in acute cases, it is because such high grade inflammatory action is present that organs are threatened by rapid processes. So this is from Homoeopathic website. I always suggest this website, which is a free website for accessing the philosophy books, material medical books, some of the repertories, and Organon 5th and 6th edition combined editions, everything for free. You can access in this website, Homeo International, homoeint.org. Okay, and here you can read the Kent's 12 observations very easily. So Kent's 12 observations is a must for any exam, and this is always emphasized in our classes, and we had covered in our course also this Kent's 12 observations. And question number 4, vital force creates local affection in a chronic disease. So it is to diminish the power of internal disease, or to cure the internal disease, or to silence the internal disease, or in response to antibiotic treatment. Yes, the option mark is 3, and we know this is directly from an aphorism, to silence the internal disease for some time. So once a question is asked from Organon, from the aphorisms, we should bring the ground plan in our mind, whether it is from the one-sided diseases area, whether it is from the intermittent fever disease area, it is from the mental diseases area, it is from the case taking, or it is from the drug proving, it is from the drug administration or the preparation of the medicine, all these ground plans should come to our mind. So that way you can get this answer. So if you see the 201 aphorism of 6th edition, this is clearly mentioned in our classes also. Just I am quoting the aphorism itself. If you see here, it is evident that man's vital force, our question, encumbered with a chronic disease which it is unable to overcome by its own powers, instinctively adopts the plan of developing a local malady or some external part solely for this object, that by making and keeping in a diseased state this part which is not indispensable to human life, it may thereby silence the internal disease which otherwise threatens to destroy the vital organs. So silence, third option, to silence the internal disease for some time. And next question, fifth question, alternating diseases are chronic diseases caused by. So this is always mentioned as a question itself in our classes. So if you see, the option mark is 2. Sora alone, sometimes complicated with syphilitic miasm. If you see one of our slide in our classes, you can see our classes, some part of the class of the below which constitutes alternate disease. I used to ask this question. So sorry, complicated with syphilis is the answer given. Then if you see the slide itself, each and every aphorism I told you 1 to 294 and 1 to 291, we put it in slide in a very detailed way and we compare it. So alternating disease 232, in the match of following also we got this. Alternate disease belongs to chronic disease, generally a manifestation of developed sora, seldom complicated with syphilitic miasm. Seldom complicated with syphilitic miasm. So if you see this, sora alone or sometimes complicated with syphilitic miasm. And you see we used to give some mnemonics like double alternating disease, 2 double alternate disease, and threefold alternating disease, threefold, 232, to easily remember 232. Footnote of 232 speaks about double alternating or threefold alternating, this kind of terms, 2 double and threefold. So these are the easy way we teach the classes. And sixth question, treatment followed in mental disease resulting from corporeal maladies will be. So 210 to 230, mental diseases, sensible advice, psychical remedies, acute non-antipsychotic medicine, antipsychotic medicine, regulated mode of living. So which is your answer? Mental disease resulting from corporeal malady. So that is the first type itself. First type. We have given examples by Hahnemann himself. Gives examples like childbed, the a kind of postpartum like melancholia or postpartum manias, we can say, like corporeal maladies. So first type. So what is the treatment? Option 4 is given correctly. Antipsychotic medicine, regulated mode of living, along with auxiliary mental regimen. And this auxiliary mental regimen is very, very important. If you see the recent question paper of Kerala lecturer post Organon and the Kerala PSC exam, there everywhere this question has come from mental disease. So 210 to 230 is a must for every competitive exam in Organon, because there is a question, 1 or 2 question from mental disease part. So this question 220, mental symptoms plus corporal symptoms, that is a complete picture, and antipsychotic is the treatment of choice. So mental symptoms should be given importance during medicine selection. Medicine to be given in mental disease is antipsychotic. Objective symptoms are more important than subjective. These are the from our classes. If you see the like recording, if you see, this is from our class. Okay. And 7th question, who among the following first saw the necessity of proving medicine on healthy human being? So answer, some of the students have given wrongly as Hahnemann. Answer is Albert von Haller. There should not be any confusion. We always used to compare two aphorisms, 108 plus 10, 118. So 118 and 108 speaks about Albert von Haller, and he is a person. So you see 108. So the only way administration of medicine for proving moderate doses to healthy person. Albert von Haller, footnote 108. Albert von Haller before Hahnemann proved drugs on healthy human beings. So this is the part of the class which we have mentioned. These are separate recordings. Actually, we have not taken at a stretch. Actually, we have taken in 8 live classes all the introduction, the appendix, and all the aphorisms. Again, if you are getting access for 1 year and joining the course now, Organon aphorism revision, we are making it, we are transforming the course to a next level. We are going to take all the live classes again before AIApget 2024, and also it will be useful for the UPSC exam which is coming up. And also we will be adding philosophy classes plus a lot of short tests, etc. for the course again. And eighth question: what is the disadvantage of external application of homeopathy medicine along with internal dose of medicine as given in 5th edition of Organon of Medicine? So if you see the UPSC 2016 and 17 question papers, this part regarding the external application is mentioned in both the question papers, UPSC 2016 and 17 medical officer research officer homeopathy question paper. So what is the disadvantage of external application of homeopathy medicine along with internal dose of medicine as given in 5th edition? So 5th and 6th edition comparison is a must which we always do in our courses. 5th and 6th edition comparison. A detailed study is very must for AIApget and UPSC exams. And if you see, many new symptoms appear after the disappearance of original symptom. Local symptom will disappear sooner than the internal disease. Duration of treatment will be prolonged due to slow recovery, difficulty in deciding potency and dose of medicine. So you see the options, the way they have structured this time for AIApget 2023, it is very close running, very confusing. If you are not having a clarity of the concept of this question, from where this question has arrived, the exact lines spoken in the aphorism by Hahnemann, if you don't know, you will have a confusion in selecting the option. That way they have constructed very close running option. If you see, answer is local symptom will disappear sooner than the internal disease. Very important. These words are exactly from Organon. If you see to 197. But this treatment, that is external plus internal, should not be done not only for local symptom arising from SORA, but also for syphilis and psychosis in diseases whose chief symptom is a constant local affection, because topical affection removes the chief symptom, that is local affection, sooner than the internal disease. So you see the words used in the option: sooner than the internal disease. Local symptom will disappear sooner than the internal disease, and we will be deceived by the semblance of a perfect cure. It will resemble like a perfect cure. It will look like a perfect cure. The semblance of a perfect cure, we will get deceived, and it will be difficult, or in some cases impossible, to determine whether the general disease is destroyed or not. So this is which will happen. 197. And the next question: the most prolific source of all the innumerable named or unnamed chronic maladies under which mankind groans. I always used to compare these aphorisms actually, because aphorism, if you see, 77 is speaking about the inappropriately named chronic disease. But after that, very important areas, 78 onwards, 78, 79, 80 and 81 speaks about the true natural chronic diseases, SORA, syphilis, psychosis, and the way Hahnemann has given some names for SORA, the name for the true chronic disease, the most prolific sources. All these names are coming up and comparing. We should compare and study that. I always emphasized it. If some of my students who have appeared for the IHMA classes or my course classes, they can actually verify it by commenting that this I have done. I have always compared this in those areas. So we will get a confusion whether it is SORA, whether it is speaking about these names are spoken about this. So if you see the artificial chronic disease also, 74, 75, 76, there is a name that most incurable, like that names are given. So what is this external mode of treatment, as it is correctly marked here? External mode of treatment is the most prolific source of all innumerable named or unnamed chronic maladies. If you see 203, here it is spoken in the local diseases, concluding areas of aphorism: local treatment without curing the internal masculine disease, that is soric eruption by ointments or caustics, like burning away the chancre by caustics, or destroying the condylomata on their seat by the knife, and the ligature or the actual cautery. This pernicious mode of treatment has been the most prolific source or cause of all innumerable named or unnamed chronic maladies under which mankind groans. So local treatment without curing internal masculine disease is the most criminal procedure of the medical world. I have already compared these terms also in this class actually. Most criminal procedure, comparing with 52, aphorism 52, criminal treason. So we used to compare and study. So 10th question, which among the following is false regarding homeopathic aggravation in acute or chronic disease? So this is regarding homeopathic aggravation. That is very important area of question papers. First option is slight aggravation is always seen even when a very small dose is given owing to superior power of medicine. This is regarding false. The question is regarding false regarding homeopathic aggravation in acute or chronic both. So homeopathic aggravation is seen in first few hours after the administration of medicine in acute as well as chronic disease. There it is, because false is asked. So we know that in acute it is correct, few hours, but in as well as chronic is wrong. So this is our option, false. So just for confirmation, we'll go through other options. So slight aggravation is a good prognostic feature in acute disease, yes. And smaller the dose, lesser will be the aggravation, yes. And slight aggravation is always seen even when very small dose is given owing to the superior power of medicine, yes. That also is correct. So answer is B, correctly marked the option 2B. And yeah, see the aphorism 161 in our class comes here. So homeopathic aggravation is due to primary action of the homeopathic medicine. Time duration of homeopathic aggravation in acute disease few hours, and long lasting chronic disease homeopathic aggravation during the first 6, 8 or 10 days. Apparent increase of symptoms of disease lasting for 1 or several hours followed by amelioration. And in renewed dynamization 6th edition, chronic disease only at the end of treatment when the cure is almost or quite finished. So this is 161 for you. And 11th question, those medicines with alternating action when first dose does not act even after being simillimum, what should be the future course of treatment? So alternating action, again that area is very favorite for 2023 AIApget. Alternating action when the first dose does not act after being simillimum, what should be the future course? Give a dose slightly increased potency, give a complementary medicine, wait without giving medicine for some time, give another equally small dose of same medicine. Yes, that is the answer here, option D, option 4 if you see. And yeah, 251, medicine with alternating action. And these are the questions usually used to ask, but this time they have asked in a different way. Equally, we have emphasized that also, we have highlighted with underlining and different colors. So alternating action is a kind of primary action, and the first dose does not produce improvement, then give equally small dose of same medicine. So these everything is a question which is given in colors. And 12th question, we have only 4 more questions this year. AIApget will discuss that. So apparent symptom caused by excess of homeopathic medicine will soon disappear when medicine is discontinued. Drug dysphagia, secondary symptom, Sheen symptom, and physiological symptom. So Sheen symptom is the answer. I used to make a funny comment that if a question paper of AIApget or UPSC or any exam, if the question about Sheen symptom, aphorism 248, and if a question about fish brain order, psychotic miasm, any of these or both of these is not there, just cross check whether you have got a Unani medicine or Ayurvedic medicine question paper, because this is a must for every question paper. That is what history teaches us. Sheen symptom is a favorite question of the examiners. And 248, 6th edition, repetition of 50 millisecond potency. Chronic disease repeated every day or every second day. In acute disease at every 2 to 6 hours. In very urgent cases, every hour or half an hour. A potency may be repeated for 7 to 15 days. And Sheen symptoms 248. And alcohol was first used for preparation of medicine by Persians, Russians, Hahnemann, Buchholz. If you see the option, there is a creativity in the question paper. When I used to make the classes, I used to make my own questions with very difficulty level, with very challenging, our own self-challenging questions. I used to advocate to make yourself. I used to comment to the students that you should make these kind of questions, because see, Russians, Hahnemann, Buchholz, everything comes in an aphorism, and they have made it in an option way, very confusing. If you see, answer is Hahnemann itself, and the aphorism is 267, very important aphorism, preparation according to the nature of substance. And here if you see, in the footnote of 267, one physician named Buchholz gives credit to Russians. So these two are the other options for this excellent mode of preparation, that is using alcohol. And but really this owns to Hahnemann. So here is the famous O tempora O mores in Organon, O tempora O mores. So Hahnemann cries out, or Hahnemann tells all the times, all the way. So this is a place 267. Buchholz, a physician, gave the credit to Russian, but before that itself, 1 or 2 years before that, Hahnemann started using this method of preparation using alcohol. And 14th question, another match the following. So once you know the ground plan and the content of each and every aphorism, this is very very easy. One-sided disease, that is, so if you see option 3 is answer A4, one-sided disease display one or two principal symptoms which obscure almost all other. Yes, A4. And B is one, local malady, changes appearing on external part of the body but not confined to that part only. Yes, it is not confined to that part only. B is one. And C is two, that is alternating disease, certain disease alternating at uncertain interval, and intermittent disease C2. And intermittent disease is disease of unvarying character returning at a fixed period. So intermittent, fixed period. So this is very easy actually. Once you read all the options, it is very easy. And another assertion reason type question. There are some medicines like, in again alternating action. I told you 2023 AIApget is very fond of alternating action. Many questions are there in this. So there are some question papers will be like that. If you see the UPSC question papers in some years, all the questions, most of the questions from aphorisms will be based on drug proving. That area you have to be very thorough. Each and every aphorism we have to be very thorough. Then only that question. That's where our course helps you. So there are some medicines like Ignatia, Belladonna, Stokes, and Bryonia, whose power of altering man's health consists chiefly in alternating action. And reason is it is a kind of primary action. Alternating action is a kind of primary action. Symptoms that are in part opposed to each other. So here the option ID1 is correctly marked. Both assertion and reason are true, and R is the correct explanation. Why? Aphorism 251, medicine with alternating action. We already told, give equally small dose of same medicine was one question in this same question paper. So here alternating action is a kind of primary action. Ignatia, Bryonia, Stokes, Belladonna. This is 251. And last question of AIApget 2023. In 6th edition of Organon of Medicine, the treatment advised for improperly treated chronic disease with a large dose of sulfur allopathically. So this is wrongly given as 6th edition. Actually it is not 6th edition, it is 5th edition, but I don't think the question will get cancelled because the answer is given correctly. So answer option is mercurius metal 30 should be administered by olfaction. So if you see the 5th edition, aphorism number 246, here you can see, if a case shows greatest resistance to the action of sulfur due to previous crude drugging with sulfur, a single olfaction of mercurialis metal 30 will remove it. This was discovered by Dr. Grieslich. I used to emphasize on this point. Actually, I used to predict also this question is going to come this year, and it has come. So like this, many predictions, like this, many mnemonics, and so many things are added in our course. So if you can, if you want to join, we'll give the link below, and you can join our class. So all the best wishes.